The fucking milkshake. Like,
oh my god, milkshake is like God kissing you. Milkshakes are awesome.
I didn't finish making the milkshake, but I made I just got ice cream.
Like, oh my god,
because it brings all the boys to the yard.
Kissing you. Milkshakes are awesome.
Oh,
we're live.
Oh, we're live. Okay.
I just got ice cream.
Oh my god,
because it brings all the boys to the yard.
That's fun. That's fun.
All right. Thanks for watching. We're now doing North America Future Card BuddyFight live stream. We're going to be talking about regionals. We're going to be talking about the rule changes and the new ban lists implemented. We also had some posts on the group where we may go into detail about things that were said there. But first, I'd like to introduce the other players that are on stream with me right now, starting with Jonathan Minham.
Woo! I'm Jonathan Has-Been Minham. Remember that. Remember I quit the game and came back again. No laughs. Damn, you guys are quiet.
Okay. Next up, Kev.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I do things.
He's riding the Gundam.
Yeah, I pilot Strike Freedom. You don't get to see me outside of that today. Sorry.
Oh yeah, new Gundam Breaker drops this week. If you guys play it, add me on PlayStation 4 because I'm going to be definitely on that game 24/7. Then last but not least, Matt Soriero.
What up, everybody?
All right, so I guess we can start off with regionals. Whose regional was first? I think it would be you, John.
Yes, sir.
Was it you or was it?
Chicago was the first one.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because I didn't top in Chicago because Blake was on my team.
So can I quickly answer this though, because they're talking about danger in the comments already, and I gotta say, like, I'm so happy for New Batama BuddyFight. Like, it is exciting as all get out. Like, we finally get nice things. Not that dual golems weren't great. It's just, you know, crit thing has always been Danger World's thing, and now we kind of got like deck manipulation, which is something unique and different. I'm very excited. We'll get to that more later. Yeah, Chicago region was really good. 32 teams, I think it was. It was a pretty interesting day. I top 8'd using dual golems. Went undefeated except for in the final round. It was a double loss for me and my opponent. So it was really nice. I played what the hell did I play against? Plague, Swords, Oni. I think that was it. It was 5 different things. So it was a really cool day. My team was undefeated up until the very last round where we all double lost. So it was really cool. So and then we went to top 8, and then sadly my deck didn't do as well as I wanted against another OTT deck, which is Swords. And then we got knocked out. But it was a really cool day. We sat at table 2 essentially all day. So the event overall was really good. Good judges, good event, good people. Like, it was nice, I think, because we were on a break from the fall. So everyone was really excited. We just got the Driven to Disorder, I think it was, at that time. So there was new cards literally that weekend, and a lot of people were playing Auto Deity. So it wasn't as cancerous just yet.
Yeah, everybody.
They didn't figure the deck out yet. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, people were. I mean, they were definitely. It was there. Like, I remember like watching, because that's the first time I was like, I might want to build this deck. Like, there's resources, there's versatility to the deck, there's a lot of toolboxing. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on with it, and it was really funny. I'd finish my match, I would like OTK and watch people to the right of me, watch people to the left of me, and like they're all playing Chaos, and I was like, oh, okay, like, what is this? And I look over and I see Auto Deity just going, oh, summon free, call, play for resources. Like, this is my kind of deck. So it's definitely what it led me to building it. So, but yeah, that was Chicago, and it ended up being won by Khalil, who was playing Auto Deity, Star Dragon World, Prisms, and Corey Turner playing Thunder Empire, I believe, or Swords. I can't remember which one it was 100%, but they ended up playing one of those. So. And it was good. It was a great top 8. We had a lot of good players there. They came from all over, so it was a good way to start the tournament season.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want me to say? Sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to point out that Dirt actually topped with his son, which was kind of cool to see. It was like our first time seeing somebody that young actually top in a major tournament. I know you were talking about that earlier before the stream.
And his son was playing Plague, so I give him a lot of credit because that deck is not exactly the easiest to deck. You know, you have to know what you're doing to a degree for setup, and you know he was doing really well with it. So the only reason I played against him, I think, was like round 4. I just crit pen. You know, that was it. So it was I was lucky to have that advantage against him. So because I think he would have just sat there and just flipped my flag. I don't want that. Not at tournament.
Yeah. Chicago was pretty good. I know Khalil was there, and he was there like a few other ones. I think his team ultimately took it with Corey that weekend.
Yeah.
I think the next tournament was
that would have been Kevin.
Kevin in Canada.
Yeah. What do I say about it?
Yeah, I mean, how many players?
Have you ever called me teams?
Yeah, I remember we had about 12 teams. You guys can hear me all right. It was about 12 teams, and I don't remember exactly what took it. I think it was Thunder Empire, Plague, and something else.
It was Thunder Empire, Swords, and Guardians.
Oh, okay. It was the other team then. Okay, so it was Thunder Empire. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it was I don't have much to say about it. I mean, really.
How'd you do? You top? What did your team play?
Our team ran into top 8. We squeezed by on the bubble because I'm cursed to always bubble into 8th place no matter what tournament I play at. So it was me with my ride changers. I can provide deck link or deck profile link if people want it. We had unlimited blade works, and we had a 5th Omni Drago waifu as our team. And I ran into a lot of Thunder Empire and Dungeon Knights, and Dungeon Knights ruined my day, and Plague ruined my day. So like I feel like we just got what was it, New World Chaos?
Yeah.
Or Georgia Disorder, whatever the new set was, the one that had Levitain Savage, and like the whole chase card for the whole day was everybody throwing their money at the one vendor who had boxes for Levitain Savages, and I was like, what is going on? Because I partook in that. Meta, yeah, a lot of it was more rogue, I guess you could say, because like we did have a lot of Thunder Empire, but not a lot of them were actually complete. And like auto DDR mini was also a big thing. But otherwise, it was just another regular event. I mean, like, I don't have a lot of stuff that's notable because it's been a while, and I made like a profile on everything.
Was it your regional that had the crazy judge ruling with the like 32 card side deck, or was that the other one?
No, that was a different one. We didn't have any. We didn't have any specific ruling disputes. All I did was ask the judge. I was like, "Hey, what happens if I play loyalty when my opponent declares calling a 3rd or more monster for the turn?" And he was like, "Oh, your ruling will be, you know, the card stays in their hand. They don't get the call. They declared it, but it doesn't happen." And I think that was like the most fair thing in terms of rulings because it never happened, or like it never needed to come up. Yeah, no big deal.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have a lot to say because, like I said, regional is a little far back. You just gotta ask me questions, and I'll remember things if I can.
No, I mean it's fine. And then I think the last event was us with New York. I think like the only like bad ruling that I heard like after the fact was like with one of the judges. It's like around like round 3 or 4, everybody was saying that if you lost, you didn't get to choose who went first. You had to go first. So I could say that put a lot of players that lost at a huge disadvantage, especially because we didn't have the extra draw yet. Because it's like a lot of the people that I played against, because I beat them like first round, and it's like with them having to go first the second round, I just savaged them because I was playing swords. So it's just like, all right, mount whatever defense you're playing. If you're not playing Thunder Emperor Fangs, I just OTK you.
Yeah.
It was
Caliber
interesting.
replica doesn't need to exist.
It was interesting in New York because me and a group of my people from Brothers Grimm, me and the other judge, Rob Russo, we went up to the head judge and said, "Hey, in the comprehensive rule book, it says it right here. It says it in the floors." Also, another judge, Mike Franquette, he judges at a different card shop. He also went with us, and he said, since we already stated that this is the way it's going to be, since I already announced it, it's going to be like this for the rest of the tournament. And I said, well, no one heard that announcement because no one could hear you. And he goes, but I can't switch it. I didn't want to argue with him. I said, you know what, that's fine, whatever. But people were complaining because they said X amount of rounds for Vanguard and then flipped it right at the last second. So people were getting pissed off that, oh, you can lie, you can bullshit us on one day, but you can't do this on another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
like decks that we saw there. Like my first 3 rounds I played against Thunder Emperor Fangs. So that was fun. It was like each match got more difficult than the last one. So I think the last guy I played that was playing it named Chris. I don't remember his last name. He was the only person I went 3 rounds against with Thunder Emperor Fangs, because for everybody else, I just end their battle phase. They played Loud Voice on their turn, and on my turn, their turn, I end their battle phase. Then Loud Voice again, then end their battle phase, and then eventually they just die.
What a riveting game that was.
Yes, oh my gosh. You know what that does to a person doing that for like 6 rounds straight?
We're playing the ultimate grind game.
Oh, I mean, Justin, I was right there with you. I played Thunder Empire for 6 rounds straight. I was seat B on my team. I only played one of the deck that day, and it was Chaos, and it was the shortest game of the day for me.
Really? I was playing C for my team, and I played a lot of Thunder Emperor Fangs.
Russo told me the same thing. So we had an influx of Thunder Empire, influx of Chaos, Plague, and I'm pretty sure Swords were like the top 4 decks there. I think there was only Prisms. I think there was only maybe 4 or 5 Jackknife players there who were playing Star Dragon, including myself.
Yeah.
When I went to Texas, I played against, it was 3 sword decks in seat A. And then the seat B was like all like crazy prisms against, it was like random Hoo decks and Oni. And then like seat C was like it was Thunder Empire, all that stuff all day. Like I'm like, people must have thought switching their strategies up was gonna like somehow change all that, but it was really crazy to see how people did change up where their placing was on those meta style decks. So.
Yeah, like I was really happy that a lot of the Thor decks were playing A when we went, because we put our Plague player in A.
So we went in with a mentality that was super casual.
We put him in A because he said that because my teammate that was playing hadn't been playing BuddyFight that much. So he said he preferred to play against all of the meta decks instead of playing rogue decks because he wouldn't know what to do against them. So that's why I played C and he played A, so that he could run into all of the Thunder Emperor Fangs and Chaos, because he was just used to practicing against those. And then he only ran into like a Thor and then like mirror matches.
What was it? My player C was Mike Franquette. He ran into some rogue decks. He played he played Oni Assassins. He played Chaos. He played the mirror match. I don't remember too much what he played, but player A was Henry Gross. He played most of the meta decks. He was playing Chaos. Our team took it. I was playing Jackknife, Star Dragon World.
Do you have the very pretty flag next to you right now?
I think actually
there?
it's downstairs in my living room with my bag. I was working on my deck this afternoon.
But I can say from regionals, one of the decks that actually scared me the most wasn't even a meta deck. It was what is it called? Hit Yourself deck. No, fucking Shadow Dive. Like he was playing it with the Abigail, the injured turn. He'd go Abigail overturn, swing at you for 3, pass turn, skip your turn, go back to my turn, play this jack-o'-lantern guy, call a monster to your center.
Oh yeah.
Tap the crit by 2, then play 2 gallows and another guy that could tap tap to make the card attack yourself. And I was just like, well, yeah, I just fucking died, don't I?
How do I get this monster? That's a crazy, crazy thing right there.
Yeah, like, I got him game 2, but game 3 I only won because he didn't. He never drew Millionaire. It's like a card, like any type of card that could put cards into my drop, so he could call a unit from my drop to my center. Because then it's like with swords, I'll only out to that is calling Alwadal over that monster and then using Blade Wall and sending it to the drop zone and the draw. Like you had to go through so much to get around that. And it was Ryan Hopkins playing it, but knowing him, he's not going to share his deck list on it. So I'm going to try to build.
He's in the comments right now. So.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's in the comments, dude. Like that deck was scary as fuck to play against because it's like it's nothing that you can do about it. It's like you open up with shields or you just die, and it's like round 1 I opened up with 3 Bloody Holy Grail, but because I couldn't equip an item, I didn't even get anything off of like negating his attacks. So I just -3.
Yeah,
barely survived, and I just couldn't equip Levitate, so he just murdered me the following turn.
He's been playing that. He's been playing that deck for a while. I feel like he at Justin. Do you remember if he was at SummerSlam?
Mm-hmm. He's in the comments.
He was playing. Yeah, he was playing. I think that's his teammate in the comments. He was playing that deck at SummerSlam. I remember.
Oh yeah, that's my team.
Walking around watching all the games, and I was like, wow, he held his own against the Jackknife player.
I mean, it's good when you use decks like that because they're not necessarily bad. They're just rogue decks because a lot of people aren't playing it. So for people like I was saying, like my teammate, like he would get destroyed by a deck like that just because he's not used to seeing it. So a lot of inexperienced players like that, those decks will eat up. And then some experienced players, because when you're building sideboards, you're not thinking, oh, I may run into a fucking Shadow Dive player. Or I may run into like what is it, ninjas?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, like that's the fun thing, at least with Team League, because you can't all play the same thing. The rogue deck mentality is there. Like it's nice to have it, so it does let the balance happen.
Yeah, I do like it. That's why I like a lot of the players playing Knights for tournament, because what I see like one problem with some people playing, it's like they get so caught up to playing a certain way all the time where it's like when you introduce a different way that they have to battle, they don't know what to do. Like Knights is a perfect example because of the shield reducing any type of damage. So like a lot of people like that were playing swords just like regularly swing at that deck, and it's like when I played against it in top 8, I'm just like, okay, well, Link attack you for 6. He's like, he takes it. I'm like, okay, well, then Link attack you for 6 again. It's just like, oh yeah, you got it. And I'm just like I never had anybody attack me like that. And I'm like, why? I was like, I'm not gonna waste time like poking at you all fucking game and you reducing damage. I'm gonna try to kill you as fast as possible. I don't know. I hope people actually start putting some stock into some other decks other than just the meta all of the time. Because I mean, you do want to play the win, but it's like if you can play something that somebody else isn't playing, perfect it, build your sideboard for the meta, then you'd actually stand a better chance against like everything else. Just because nobody would see your deck coming. Like that's why I'm trying to work on stuff like Netman and what is it? Swords.
Swords is technically
yeah, Swords is another that thanks to Minjo getting dropped, that other deck is dead too.
Poets?
No, Battle Poets. Because like my Battle Poet deck was really good, but it's like between that and Swords, I was like, Swords is a lot more consistent. That's why.
Yeah, people are very happy that Menjo got dropped. Nobody likes loop decks, especially Bushy Road.
Yeah, I mean it was good for the game that it got dropped.
It was good. I mean, when they were redoing the rules, if you read the whole PowerPoint they sent out in the last slide, it was like, we're gonna try to not make the game as bad as we did. They were saying like, we're gonna check the power creep in this game now.
Well, that's because they also got the new development crew back from the Vanguard season or whatever. I remember somebody was telling me that
the power creep thing. Can I chime in real quick about that? Have you
I'll
guys
let you.
read the new cards that are out in set 1 for the new season? Some of that shit's crazy, and I'm not even talking danger.
I think everything's actually balanced pretty well between the
I think
worlds.
it is balanced, but I think some of it's super like you know, like I guess you could say like when Bats came out a year and a half ago, whatever it was. Like, okay, triple attack, like it can be balanced. There was some things around it. Like now a lot of the shit's got Soul Guard, which I mean that's crazy. It's just it's like destruction, though effective, just still not as effective like where it was before when nothing can be destroyed. So destruction's making a comeback to a degree, and we have a lot of that to blame on Abby when she first came out, because you're just like, oh, discard, destroy, discard, destroy. Then if you were playing Negerballs, so like that format was a little crazy. So they slowed it down with no destruction. Now I feel destruction's coming back. If you read a lot of the new cards, a lot of it, there's a lot of destruction again. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes going forward.
I think they're doing a lot of destruction again because they're not that they sped the game up to a point where it can't go back, but they're trying to make the game more fair to everyone because only certain worlds had access to every type of kill spell in the world. Like Hero World still doesn't have a really great, weapon popper or a card destroyer. Doesn't have a great one. Certain worlds are lacking in that department.
Their individual archetypes kind of have some things, but
that's all restricted to archetype. The thing is,
there's not like a generic Hero World. But I will say this: Hero World does have Spell Null, which not every world has access to, so it balances out.
We still have it.
I feel like every world has a Spell Nullifier now.
No,
not Dragon World, but a lot of worlds have access to a Spell Null.
Yeah, the majority of worlds have access to a form of Spell Null. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I want Crucial to actually make relevant in the game is like what the game is actually based around, like a buddy monster. Like buddy calling is so fucking irrelevant now in the game. It's just crazy. It's like it's no reason to even buddy call, or you win a lot of games without even buddy calling.
Yeah, because life gain is now something crazy again. Everyone's got a life gain card.
Yeah,
not like what it was before.
Gaining one life against a deck that can turn out 15 to 20 damage doesn't even matter.
They should honestly have like where you buddy call, you gain an effect for that turn or something like that. Where at least it would matter doing the buddy call and at least even timing it, because now you buddy call, you just gain a life, and like you said, nothing happens other than what maybe its effect already is. If you had a buddy call that mattered, and like I think Khalil brought it up the other day in the group, like a miracle like call or like from Magic. Like something like that would be really cool. Like if you buddy call, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a monster, play it for free, or if it's a spell, cast it for free, or something like that would be really cool to see. But like you said, I just don't focus on it.
I mean, go ahead, Kevin.
The whole thing. I think it would throw in more power creep because like we're gonna have specific cards that go when you buddy call this card, do this thing. You'd have to change the mechanic outright or like add it in entirely, as opposed to having a card that just says, this does this when you buddy call it. Because if you do that, then like I said, you're adding power creep, you're adding value to things that don't need to have value added to it.
Well, I mean, one thing that they did do is like with Black Knights, they actually did that with like Kratos and then like Thanatos and all of those guys. Like they actually had abilities based off of who was your buddy. Like one guy just gained 2 crit if you had another knight on the field just for him being your buddy. It's like I played the deck just because I like stuff like that. Like with Kratos, he gained 2 extra soul when you called him for his ability just for him being your buddy.
Yeah.
See, I don't know about you guys, but I've been pushed to 1 life a lot, especially against certain decks where gaining that 1 life mattered to me in the most, because I had no other way of gaining a life to not get burned to death on the next attack.
Well, that's because you hide behind a dragon and the rest of us play real decks.
Infinite Blade works. How many attacks do you do a turn?
What, with swords?
Yeah, how many attacks we got?
Unlimited Blade works is like every Excalibur replica is 2 unstoppable, and then whatever else he has, which is like a Lave and a Savage.
Yeah, you get more attacks. You get more attacks than most people. You get more. You don't gotta play monsters. You can just equip all your items and just done.
And after 3 attacks, you can just end my battle phase. I don't want to hear it, Matt.
Oh, you have it at the end of the battle phase too. Those are the only 2 cards that end the battle phases: Face Seal Chain and your Legend World spell.
I think this is a good time to transition towards discussing the ban list or the irregulars list.
Sounds good.
Sure.
Like, if you guys are fine with that, because like
no, that's good. No, it's good transition.
Yeah, because we are talking about the point where things are getting really dumb and ridiculous. So I feel like it's just, like, necessary.
Where we have like 2 weeks until it technically takes place in America, so they
really
all regions are
July,
over. So
July 2nd is the ban list.
Yeah.
But what do you all think about the rule changes with the drawing of card for everybody?
I am for it.
I think it's great for everyone across the board. Yeah, it's scary when certain decks get the draw, but
yes,
I mean, everyone's got it. It's not like, hey, you magically are doing it better. Like, no, it's everyone's the same across the board. Like, I mean, now with most decks, it seems to me like the new decks, the new era, all require setup.
Yeah,
the extra draw only helps the new series. Like, it seems. I mean, not that doesn't help the old cards. It just like the way they did it was like, okay, we need to have 3 cards in one spot, and this needs to have a lot of shit in its sold, so it gets this. And it seems like to me the extra draw helps with the setup a lot more. So it's good. And like going to Houston, I think I was the first. Yeah, I was in Houston, and we were the only regional before Ohio. It was that weekend. They were like, "Here's the new rules. Like, you guys get to play with them." And I was playing Chaos like turn 1. I'm like, awesome. Like I drew in Gear God like every time without having to search or anything. So yeah, it's scary when you're Chaos, but also every deck was pretty scary. Like, you never know what people are going to do. Their hands sometimes would just get so large.
So from like a non-meta standpoint, because I play Hero World, I feel like it's a really good thing, because like even when you're playing a deck that needs setup like Hero World, etc., like John said, having the extra draw is really helpful because it lets you find the pieces you need to actually have a board and have a game happen in most cases. Or like if you're playing against like a really aggro deck, it helps you. I guess it helps you kind of like stabilize and like dig into a shield or whatever it is to just not die that first turn whenever they get something ridiculous going. And like, yeah, it is scary when you're facing a rush deck and they go, "Hey, look, I get an extra draw on my first turn," but at the same time, it still kind of evens out. Personally, again, I feel like we could have gotten another rule change where we get rid of like that first attack, but that's something that needs more testing because I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean, that could be a thing because honestly, the attack too, like crit has gone up a lot.
Yeah, the base crit rates on everything, and the thing is,
they don't up sometimes.
They don't limit the amount of damage you can do off a card on the first turn. So one attack could be fine, but you've been telling me before that Dual Golem can literally OTK someone like first turn.
I did it multiple times in Chicago without my opponent even remotely drawing a card. Like, you just can do it. Like, it's scary good, and like you want it to happen if you're the Dual Golem player. But if you're playing against Dual Golems, you just gotta sit there and go, "Oh please, oh please, oh please, oh please, don't whiff, 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 whiff."
Crimson Fist also can do the same thing now. With the new support
drum?
With the new drum. I was playing against one of my friends, and I was just like dropping my Jupiter barrier every time first turn. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel bad because I'm drawing the card back, and it's like playing old school, but still just he was go like 10. I'm like, no, stop it.
Yeah, and shields are so much more important now. I mean, not that they've never been, but like it's like so many things can either be rested now, which is great. Like, there's a lot more cards that do that. The shields are so relevant. Like, so I mean, to me, those resources are so much more valuable sometimes than I would say like the draw, getting a shield, awesome. Like, that's so much more valuable getting that plus draw because it just fills your hand with more potential defense-wise going first as well. Before you're like, okay, go attack for 2. Your opponent goes, let me call a whole field of chaos monsters. Good luck, everyone. And like hope that you don't die turn 1.
So I meant to ask you, was anyone confused at the regional that you went to about the rule change of the counters of multiple counters per battle? Was there any disputes about that?
I'm going to say this in the way like when I would finish my matches before my teammates did and things like that again. Like, I was just done, and I was watching other matches, and like that the counter was not like the huge issue to people. It was more so again like, let's just go back to one of our favorites, overturn counters and things like that. And like when that was thrown into like the mixes of things, like it was really hard there. Like the generic, like counter, counter, counter. That was easy. It's when they added the other elements again, say like Thora overturn or something like that.
Yeah.
That's where people were just, you heard the judges just like sweating, going, "Oh, please God, don't ask me. Please God, don't ask me. I don't want to be the judge to answer that."
Also, you guys saw how they worded it in the rule book. It's still a chain of 2.
Oh yeah, it's you just do another
counter,
chain.
counter, resolve. You have another chance to shield, resolve. Try again.
So, but like to me, like I think people got that. Like, like I didn't see a lot of it because again, it was more like when you did have it, it was people who had a lot of hand and things like that. Where I don't know. To me, again, I've seen a lot of people like drop so much hand to either survive attacks or to get set up, and then like again, chaos, like they could get the card handage back in their hands, whereas other decks can't. So like it was like one of those things where I never saw it because I always had the advantage, against other people. And then you look over, you see the Authority player with like one card in hand, going, like, "Please God, let me live." It was never an issue to me that I saw. I think again, if they happened, it resolved correctly, and then it just went on to the next chain. But I never. It was again the other timings within timings that became the issue.
See, I wish it was different for New York Regional, because I would have lived against chaos instead of getting latticed. But I was actually playing a game the other day and forgot that rule was in effect. So I was like doing things during the battle, and then at the end of the battle, cast this real quick to end your battle phase. And my friend's like, "Why don't you just do this? You would have still won." I'm like, I forgot the rule change was in effect. Like even we playing at locals forgot for a little bit because everyone's so used to just counter, counter, done.
That's a thing. I mean, that's a simple misplay that can be done. That can be fixed with practice, though.
Oh yeah, everybody's up to speed now.
Yeah.
I can't wait for July though for the new irregular list.
Yeah. So back on the topic of a regular list.
The rules we got on. Did we hit all the rules though? Should we go?
Yeah, we hit all the rules.
Did we hit all the rules? Oh,
yeah, we did. We talked about loops a little bit.
You can't have multiple
loops.
Attack
you can't have multiple loop.
Yeah.
It's one extra turn. That's it.
I mean, that one extra turn is usually enough to win.
Anyway, unless you got some crazy defense.
Yeah, I played a Menjo deck, and that one turn is all you need. So yeah, irregular list.
Oh yeah, irregular list. So what do we want to hit? Chaos, Thunder Empire? Which one's first?
Let's talk about TEF, I guess.
So they hit the size 1 Katana and Loud Voice and Legend World
Fighter's Oath.
Yes. Fighter's Oath, yeah. So
only for Thunder Empire though, right?
Yes, you can still play Loud Voice at 4 on a Dragon World deck, which
makes Sun Dragons ridiculous next format. Oh my god.
It's already occurring. It already happened.
Yeah, that's not the point. I feel like the hits were really good because basically what they just did was they made Thunder Empire less of a quote unquote solid deck where they can like survive a turn and then just gain everything back and not die because they had both Loud Voice and Fighter's Oath, which is really good because you take away things that make them a solid cannon. Now they're a little more glass cannony and they can get crippled more easily. And I feel like taking out the Katana guy. Was it the Katana guy?
Yes, it was Connect Ninja Tomoshin.
Yeah, he's the one that like, top 3, and then you take 1 and drop the other 2, right?
Yes, it was when another Thunder Empire ended the field, check top 3, add 1 to hand, put the rest to the bottom.
Okay, so to the bottom, not to the drop zone. Okay.
Drop zone. Was it drop zone? No, it was bottom of the deck, I think.
Well, I remember it being drop, and I was like, okay, they could set up for insane things. Like
Let's find out.
OTK
Is it drop zone? No, rest of the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, bottom of the deck.
Yeah, Chaos Daryl Burke was the only thing that said put the drop zone.
Oh my god, that card is less broken than I thought.
So I think that they're going to play more shields now, like Steel Dragon Crush, the one that says nullify an attack, then pay gauge, reduce the next damage take by 2. I personally think that their consistency has been a little crippled, but not too much because they still have access to the pay 2 gauge, destroy all monsters on the field, draw enough cards. And now they also have the Warlord's draw spell that just came out. So they got cards to replace certain cards.
Yeah, but they took out a lot of the actual defense and staying power that the deck actually had.
Oh, absolutely. Now that Loud Voice is done, I think that they're going to rely on Key way more than they ever did before.
Yeah, which is fine with me, I hope. Because, Loud Voice ruins everyone's day.
Definitely.
Or just slows you down for a turn, and then you just do the same to them.
I mean, like, if you think about the
But
amount of
not all worlds have the ability to end the phase, Justin. We don't all have broken. Like,
Here, me and Justin are being spoiled with our
Yeah.
counter spells.
you guys are like, oh yeah, we'll be fine. The rest of us are like,
Oh, loud
"Excuse me,
voice. Okay, go
the
in.
lifeboat has a hole in it. Can we get another raft? Like, please? Okay, you keep going. Like you guys are fine. The rest of us are like, oh, please come back. Like, so,
The rest of you guys are like, oh, thank God, and we're just sitting here going, yeah, we'll still be fine.
yeah. That's only fair. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of the stuff coming out, again, the Soul Guard helps with the destruction aspects, and I don't know. There's some interesting cards that have come out in the set reveal this morning. So I'm very excited for the way the game is going to go. So I think they'll get around that. And as far as like Thunder Empire, I mean, this new set, there's no support in it for Thunder Empires, it seems. So that, again, that little slowdown hopefully helps, like kind of nerfs it even more.
It's not like they needed any support in the first place.
No, I get it. But like every time you see a batch, you're just like, okay, what more stupid shit are they going to get, or crazy, or, you know, like, let me call 2 size 2s to the field, and one's got infinite attack and penetrate and blah, 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 blah. And like, you didn't need it. Like, why? And then Thunder
a shop championship this past weekend, and somebody got tilted because of the new bats. It says like 3 worlds in the drop. He gains like triple attack, and when he swings, he burns you for 2. So it's like, so that's basically just 12 damage.
Well, that's why we tell him to sit down. We rest him. We tell him to sit down.
You hope you can, because you're just hoping to get that extra draw for turn 1 that can do that. Or you're trying to keep up with it.
One of a lot of people just because of that, because they're just like, what the hell is this dude? What 2 damage every time it swings? It's like, why?
Like, who made that card?
I know why.
Well, and then like Chaos, you know, I don't know. Next time we'll see the support for them, but they are guaranteed. We sure said each flag will get support.
That's where we get our first extra boosters and stuff, where we get our legacy garbage.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, but anywho, them getting hit, you know, like we saw Lattice completely removed from the game. Like,
thank
for
God.
Chaos.
Thank
Actually,
God.
I think it is all. I think it is all worlds. I don't think it's just.
It's off limits for just Lattice. Only for Chaos. Death Talika and Menjo are the only 2 cards that says no more. Bye. Goodbye.
I don't see why they did that to Menjo specifically, because we could have left him at like 1 or 2 of, and he wouldn't have been as much of a problem.
Because Bushiroad does not like loop decks, and they did not realize what they did.
See,
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
one Menjo would have been.
They could have errated it. They could have just said this.
True, and I understand why Kevin's upset, because he is the one that figured it out. So I understand your frustrations.
But I think like Lattice being reduced, I don't know how much that really was a big effect in Chaos. Like, I think most people ran it at a 1, maybe a 2.
They used it to end games, though. I lost in top 4.
You link attack again for like 8, and you hope they have a shield, and then you just nullify it. So.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that thing doesn't need to exist in a deck like Chaos.
Yeah, so Lattice cost me a match in top 4, and I could not do anything because I was so set. I had like 8 cards in my hand. I had 3 shields. He goes, link for exact damage. I go, oh, here we go again. All right, shield spell now. I'm like, all right, game 2. Game 2, I tried to pop his Lattice, hoping he only had 1 monster. Protected the Lattice. Then he linked for game again. I go, shield again. He goes, no. I'm like, damn it, he had 2 monsters. Because Lattice's automatic ability is when it would be destroyed. Protected.
But I also want to know this. Why is Talika banned?
I
it was too much consistency on board state. Like,
yeah, it's
that deck, all it does is mill. Like,
it's nearly impossible to remove.
The Infinity deck, all it did was mill, and then it's just like, okay, you're fueling my hatred to sitting this card on here and just sacking it and putting cards back into the deck. So you couldn't deck out.
But I mean, they
put it all back.
They could have just removed it from Chaos and not from like the game. Because for Darkness Dragon World, what do we have?
You have nothing.
Exactly.
You had your day in the sun.
I know.
You had your shining moment.
For those who don't know, Justin has complained about Darkness Dragon World support since like set 3, whenever it came out. It's never been good enough. You get 1,000 cards and only one's good. That's what he says. And then the moment they're like, oh, Darkness Dragon World gets the following. And now he's sitting here praising the deck on the stream.
See, I think the reason it
I
needed to
see
go
your
for
face.
chaos,
Yeah, I see your face. Yeah. See your filter.
it needed to go though, because you would just
It just again created an unhealthy game state because no matter what
Yeah.
you did, you couldn't get rid of it unless you shadowed
Yeah.
out. But in chaos, you're not doing that. You know, you're like.
Well, no, the other out was bouncing into hand, but at the same time, it was just like you had a big wall that your opponent can't get over because if they don't play penetrate, then you cry yourself to sleep.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, but in Darkness Dragon World, it's not as consistent to get out.
That's not the point. The point is though, like when the card hits the field, regardless of how it does it, it's nearly immovable because like if you're building the deck around it, it's going to be there and it's being supported. Like it's synergistic. In theory, at least.
So let's talk about the big three that got hit for chaos.
All their consistency?
Gear God version 1000, Machining Sacrifice, and the Spell Searcher. So it's funny these all got limited to one because these were like the main engines of the deck because all you would do is get Gear God to call bats to then get the Spell Searcher to get another to Machining Sacrifice to then Machining Sacrifice back the Spell Searcher then draw the Chaos gear and draw 4.
You do not sound bitter whatsoever.
My teammate has.
You do not sound bitter at all about
my teammate Henry has given me the good work with that deck and has prepared me the best I can to enjoy July 2nd as well as July 4th because it's going to be a new day for both Buddy Fight and America.
Okay, so as a recent newcomer to the Chaos Auto Deity deck, the Gear God being at 1 slows the deck down because you're just going to go probably back to Gear God 7 Mini Gear God. So you're going to get a few pluses to a degree. Not as bad. You're just going to call bats for free again if you got it in hand. The Machining Sacrifice, they still have Chaos Signal, so you still can do a few things.
Yeah, true. I feel like they're going to rely on more Chaos. They're going to rely on Gear God 10,000 more now. Because after you use the other Gear God's Overkill, you can do it again. My teammate, he rebuilt his deck to try to play test it out. It's still very consistent. Still, there's things that Henry Gross.
Yeah.
He rebuilt his deck.
Yeah,
there's still consistency to the deck.
But that's not that crazy bad. I mean, like it's still there's still consistency. What they did was they slowed it down. Like, they didn't like nerf it and kill it. Like
2 notches to just even out the playing field.
Beta went to 1. The spell, like you said, went to 1. Like those things, yes, you slowed it down. What they should have hit was the one that's like draw 4 cards, discard a card. Like that card should have been hit. That card that
Chaos
card,
here, yes.
Because there's no reason to have that card exist. Back in the day, drawing 2 cards seemed broken. Now you're drawing 4, getting rid of 1. And now but you don't have to get rid of the one you drew. You can get rid of any card that you want. You're like,
and then you call Pentar and gauge and draw again, and then you play Orser Kleins and you do it again.
No bitterness. None
Not
whatsoever.
At all.
None whatsoever right there.
I feel like they did just an overall consistency hit more than like a
Machining Sacrifice to me, but it just didn't like again, Chaos Signals is still there. There's still a way to call cards. Like one's just calling from the drop. And one's calling from the deck, and it's an auto beat.
Everything that's been like restricted in the deck anymore. You can't like do multiple loops with it, which slows it down drastically. I think is what they were going for. Where it's like you can still play the deck. Like Chaos needs the extra draw, but now you don't get Degenerate Plussing for the sake of Degenerate Plussing because now you have only like one of each consistency card on top of the draws.
Yes, I do understand that, but again, like there are other cards that still make it crazy. Stupid. Like it's not like they were just like, oh, let's completely ban this card or completely get rid of it. You limited it to 1. So if you're a top decker, you're gonna get it every time. I've seen it happen. People are like, you're gonna go it, or you're just you're gonna find a way to get that card faster. And like Chaos again is so crazy. Like I don't think that deck's gonna slow down within the next couple of sets. They just gotta completely overkill it, literally. Like just by not giving it support, and then you're gonna get all these other things.
What you did there.
Yeah, I'm funny, but I think that's the thing with Chaos is just they have to now just completely make it irrelevant, and then that's how you get rid of it, stopping it from playing.
I think that we'll see very minimal Chaos support, and then we're gonna see a little bit. It's gonna be like 100 demons.
What's gonna happen is exactly you're gonna get support, you're gonna get something good, and the rest of it's just gonna be shit or. It's not enough to make it relevant. It's just enough to, again, be the C player. and that'll be your deck going forward. But one day, here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, how do we make money? Dear God, 50,000 billion. And
dear God of the future, Ace.
Yeah, there you go. And he comes in a god rare because he's a god, and it's going to be like some crazy brokenness where it's like summon your whole deck to the field and attack it once, can't be nullified, and we give you an extra deck that you get to, like something stupid. Another
hold on. You take your whole deck, you remove it from the game, and then you pick up your deck out of your bag and then put it on top of your deck.
And then I play the Seal of Roy Kokos, and you just go.
Deck, you'd auto lose, right?
Yeah.
And not a bit of saltiness at all over there, John.
You realize if you played your whole deck, you would auto lose. I'm just kidding. That card is false.
Okay, all but one card, and that card can't be drawn, removed, or anything. It just sits there.
No, they're gonna have another flag.
You just take your flag and put it right there. Yeah.
You're gonna take one. There's gonna be another flag that says when this card is played, take your deck, remove it from the game, but put one card on top of the deck slot. Draw it. Even if you draw it, you do not deck out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just goes back.
You cannot lose.
You're just cycling it back in the deck. Draw one card, put one on the bottom. Draw one card, put it back on the bottom, and that's all you're doing. It's some Yu-Gi-Oh bullshit right there.
So, what do you guys think about Gambit getting limited to 1 for all worlds?
I think that was a good call, to completely honest.
I think it's good because with Netman, it's like going first. The abuse would have been even better.
Like they could have put Gambit to 2 because 2 would have been a fair number. I think 1 was just to prevent anything BS from happening in the future, which is really future-proofing it. But they already did the errata, which is like you already errated it to be once per turn. There's no reason for you to do more than like semi, if ever.
They just don't want you drawing it. I mean, they're at this point where I think they don't.
At the point where they're just like, Gambit is too old to be good, so we should just stop them from using it altogether. Yeah, just do the thing.
I mean, I know you're saying Netman. I mean, again, let's go back to like superheroines. Like, you could do it technically. I believe what was it? It was a hit for Ozzy. Why they got rid of it officially?
Ozzy had a loop. I think
that's why they originally limited it. I don't know if again they were like, oh, we got Ozzy shit coming out again, so
there was a toilet loop as well, and that was
that's right, toilets, yeah.
Well, they also errated that plus all the other bounce spells for Dragon World and another world because people were just going, bounce all your stuff, play it again, go plus again, bounce all your stuff, do it all over again.
Yeah, that was because of Ozzy. All the other stuff that was also on top of Gambit.
Yeah, but I mean, Dragon World still has Force returns, so they can still abuse that new Thunder Knight stuff that they got.
Oh god, I don't want to look at this new Dragon World support.
Oh my gosh, like that.
Why is it that archetypes get the best legacy support? They like remake your boss monster with like 4 new abilities, and they go, here, have more. You have a drop boss monster.
Who'd you say?
Fifth Omni, Thunder Knights, Blue Sky Knights, like all of them are just getting freaking ridiculous. We have a 4 crit double attacking 10 boom.
Because Gao?
No, 3 crit. Don't sell it more than it has to be.
Sorry, sorry, 7 power, 7 defense as opposed to
7/3/7.
6. Yeah,
it's put on top of monster, pay 2 gauge on entry or take a damage, pop all monsters.
Hey, look, try and attack me. I'm gonna nuke your board.
And then try to do anything. I'm gonna nuke your board.
Try anything. I'm 5th Omni. I'll just nuke everything. Stuff like that. And I was looking at Thunder Knights, and I was like, why are we doing this right now?
Because Bushira, it's like, how again do we make money? New Gear God 50 billion will come out in like a year in a set you're just describing, like Solar Strife, and people will lose their minds because of
or Wisdom's gonna come back, but as a good guy this time.
I'm actually really surprised
with old man Wisdom. Yeah,
Solar Strife was like one of the sets I did not expect to be as OP as it was.
But here's the worst thing about Solar Strife was like they're like, here's disaster support. People are like, fuck that, we don't care. Let me have the Onis and the Omnis and all that.
Yeah, they honestly, this was kind of just like, I feel like a money grab set because it only really did so much for decks. It was also supposed to sum up the final battle between Ozzy and Gao. And let's be real, anyone that's not playing Sun Dragons, we all could have agreed we didn't need that set. We didn't need Sun Dragons to come back.
Yeah, we don't want Sun Dragons to come back.
We didn't want Sun Dragons to come back in the first place. But we were fine with them being bad archetype.
My friend, I'm sure my friend Adis will be watching this later. He'll say that he wanted it to come back. That deck was okay, and then they're like, here's more steroids for it. Now here's even more.
No, wait, there's more.
But wait,
they needed the support. They were not the best deck for a long time.
Say it again.
Actually, what was the set that just came out? The one before this one, where they reprinted like the Bal impacts.
No, it
Buddy
was this
Legends?
set.
Huh?
Oh no, this set, yeah, they printed out the Solar Strife.
Oh,
They
was
printed
it
out
this set?
the Chrome Dragon stuff.
Okay, never mind. I retract statement. I thought it was like the set before this one where they were like, here, have all the Bal impacts again as triple R's again, just to waste your money or something.
Oh, they're all doubles.
Oh no, God, that'd be terrible. Oh.
Okay, good. But I do have to say one thing though is like because I'm Mr. Hero World, I have to input my opinion on this, and the fact that they made the new Mukuro along with second Dark Hero Hideout. Who let that card? Who let either of those cards exist together?
All right. So I play Hero World, not as much as Kev over here, but I play Dark Heroes and Super Heroines. So I've been working on my Dark Hero build for quite some time now, and I'm very much loving it. Because you could have, I didn't know you could have multiple second hero hideouts set.
Right? Oh my God.
So we have a way of gaining 3 life and 3 gauge per turn, and then just going Shadow Mukuro Schwartz nullify pop every turn.
Yeah.
And you're forgetting the power and defense one too. Like that's
yes,
like,
of course.
Like that defense.
I can hit
alone.
Tetra.
Yeah.
And I can tap Dark Hero Hideout during your turn.
He's so bitter. He is so bitter. He's so bitter.
No, but so yeah, back to my previous statement. Who let those two cards exist together? Because that creates some like uber broken advantage combo within Dark Hero.
It's about freaking time, is that all I have to say.
But I was gonna say, like, why is that a bad thing to have those two? Still, people aren't gonna go Dark Hero craziness right now. Like, I think when we see the new stuff come out, September, I think it was. That's when you're like, okay, now let's get this deck really going because there's.
What set's coming out in September?
They get the new Hero World Ultimate Booster that comes out.
Oh, the Great Hero War. Another Hero War that no lore exists on, by the way. Just saying.
It's also just exposition for you to put in 3 new archetypes with no legacy support. Well, actually, minimal legacy support to get money from people because Hero World is the Bermuda of BuddyFight.
I'll do it. I'll buy that shit all day.
God, you're not
that shit all
wrong.
day too.
You're not wrong.
John, at least don't tell them that.
They're like, we keep printing money. We keep printing money.
So,
But Dark Hero for me is like one of those
like good.
There was the original OTK sets. Like there was like, okay, swing, no, like, and then they're like, how can we make this crazier? And like they made all these other decks.
So
like,
instead of just giving the deck Gargantua Punishment 2.0 and then making it like
You mean Infinity Deathcrest? Excuse me.
Yeah, Gargantua 2.0 and then making it wannabe Thunder Empire with Zeta.
No, that's different though.
I'm making a joke out of it. I'm making a joke.
Okay. I'm like different
Right,
Dark Heroes. Yeah, they even spelled it wrong.
Yeah, I know. No, they fixed it. They fixed it.
They did fix it. But
It was just a bunch of, hey, let's see what we can. Like, so basically, Hero World is basically seeing how stupid they can get before they make something else more stupid than it.
yeah.
Like, really. And that brings me to the topic of what does that bring me to the topic of?
We're on the ban list before.
And going back to the point.
Yeah, what else were we on the ban list? Where did we leave off? We got
we did everything on the ban
Gambit,
move this towards Ace.
Pelican.
All right, so before we sum up the whole thing, I just want to say one thing about the whole Hero World thing we're just going on about. It always has to be a very linear thought process with Hero World. If not, it has to go A, then B, then C, then D. It can't toolbox as well.
What do you mean can't toolbox? Well, Hero World has like some of the best toolbox support.
I meant for Dark Heroes. I'm like building my build, and I'm like, I gotta make the most simplistic build.
Okay, but here's the thing with Dark Heroes though, they didn't get the crazy amount of love.
Everything.
They got a really good, like, I think, like, I like the concept now where it's like calling shit on your opponent's turn and doing things. Like, I think that is a really.
Yeah, you can gauge life and draw every round now.
Well, but not only that, but you have Brayden, which is really good. It destroys. Brayden's Vint is great. Like, you're like, okay, let me reduce the crit, and you're triggering hard hideouts. You're like, I want to see a third hero hideout, Dark Hero hideout in the next set.
Well, calm down. We just got the second one.
We gotta wait for another year before we get third hero hideout.
At least a year.
Oh my god.
It's gonna come out with Neo Nectar support.
I'm like, what's that one gonna give us? +4 critical to our item?
He's so bitter.
He's so sad.
Yeah, I think in the long run, I think Dark Hero has the potential to always be a fan favorite because of the Omni Lord and everything being a part of it. But like, they really need to give it better grade ones. I think right now. I think we're at a very
I think they're actually pretty solid with their old school grade 1 lineup of Scar and Schwartz. That's it.
Are you kidding me?
Scar? What the fuck are you talking about? Scar?
Scar doesn't exist. It's
the
just
Scar.
It's
The
just
deck is all about dropping. Going back to the sir. We'll have a different stream on this because I could go on for another 10 hours about how bad Scar is.
I'll show you my list later. Let's get back.
You run heroines in Dark Heroes.
Not anymore, man. It didn't
if we're having a
fit.
hero
I ran out of
talk,
card
we-
slots.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god!
I made
You
it.
kick him from the stream. I want his bitter badass gone.
Fine, I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Zeta against you again, and we'll just see how that we.
Oh,
Guys,
Guys, I'm short of it.
anywho,
Long
let's
and
talk
short of
about
it.
Ace. Yeah.
All right.
Let's-
So, what is everybody's opinions on BuddyFight Ace so far?
I think we had a lot of people in the comments start out with talking about DAD Yankee here, so just gonna say the new Batama of Buddy Fight.
Our supreme overlord.
Yes, finally. Like we finally get not that again Dual Golems wasn't good, but Dual Golems again just rest the bitch and the chicken is dead and he
I
can't
don't
do
know why you're
anything.
calling them dual golems when they're dual golems. I'm sorry if you know me.
Column.
Whatever.
Somebody's asking for a new Cops in a World archetype in the comments.
We got it though. We got CEO Amaterasu coming in from Vanguard making an appearance. That's what she is. I mean, it's not that wrong. Japanese thunder deities, I believe it was. So
Danger World, yes. Team plays for days.
No.
Oh yeah, is that Charles?
Okay.
Charles there?
That's CJ.
CJ? Yeah. Well, I think what's. Go ahead. Sorry.
I gotta say the next season is disappointing for me because I primarily play item decks.
Darkness Dragon World.
Fucking Danger World card just drops the Dragon Force.
Yeah.
Like we finally get a good Dragon Force for Darkness Dragon World, and it's just like, oh well, send it to the drop zone. Hey,
No, see that bitch go bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's like almost everything I play except for Netman just goes.
I can't even put my Granthys to the drop zone. Oh, that's painful.
Well, who thought it was a good idea to do that? That's like power creep.
I did. I thought sitting at home going, wait, how can we do this? No, I think Bushiroad finally hit something out of the park because it's so different though. Like it didn't matter if it was danger or not. Like the fact that they created something like this, and I mean, I feel bad that they've done it, or not feel bad. I'm sad that they've done it now when we could have had this before. I think that to me shines more chaosy. Like, oh, you're taking my stuff, you're sucking my resources. Stop! Wait, come back! Like they really, I think, hit a home run with the concept here. So,
So I'm gonna spend like 3 gauge and like 2 cards to equip an item, and then you're just gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna put that in the drop zone because it doesn't have Soul Guard, and now I win because you -5 for no reason."
Yeah.
So I think this is what I'm hoping as a non-Danger World player, that it says every other Danger World stuff where everything gets all hyped up and then better stuff comes out for every other world and they just fall behind again.
Oh, so power creep doing what power creep does basically.
Yeah. I mean, they're also changing the game because now we're going to have to lean more towards items that have Soul Guard. And we're going to have to also use, like, if you play swords, you're going to have to play the sword that if, like, one of your, like, swords would leave the field, you can ditch it instead. But I don't know.
I feel like Bushiroad was like, I guess Kaiserian wasn't that big of a mistake anymore. Because, like, we all know how bad that was.
The idea behind it, like, again, like, did you guys read all the cards? Like, it's not even just, like, your field anymore. It's like, oh, you draw a card? Let me choose one of the following 2 effects. I'm going to make you gauge that, I'm going to draw myself a card, or there's so many crazy plays in there. It's not just like this guy, like the whole, not even archetype. It's like a lot of it's splashable in already established. Can you imagine that card in Dual Golems?
Hold on. I just thought about something. Justin, I just thought about something. His call cost is send. The sending is part of the call cost, so you can't actually use the sword in replacement, can you?
Nope. I don't think so.
There's only a few things that it cannot get over. Like
if a card has Soul Guard, you can't get over it. But if it's an effect, I would say, can you?
Well, Soul Guard, it would just be okay.
Soul Guard's still
remove
active.
a soul, it's been replaced, done.
I mean,
sorry.
And the bad thing about it is, like, even if you negate his summon, you still have to pay the call cost.
Yeah. Also, you lose no matter what you do with that card.
Yeah, negate it. I dare you.
It's so good, but I don't like it. It kills all of my item stuff. Like, I like items.
No more love for you.
I know.
Yeah.
Justin can't have anything nice this year.
I know.
Well, and that's the funniest thing about it is like, does that go over Requiem?
Yep.
Because it doesn't have Soul Guard. It
Yep.
just puts it in. So yeah,
That's
you're doing a lot, and it doesn't destroy. So it doesn't return to hand. So it gets over a lot of that stuff, like Ozzy, everything, Glon. It's an amazing card for what it is, and it's a triple R.
Oh, what the frick?
So
You guys
every
have
deck I have now is trash except for Netman.
Yeah, or Kaiserian, because that's a thing too.
And I sold Kazarian.
Well, I have extras.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need those then because I only have like 2 King Kazarian.
Oh, DD Yankee's a deck type?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm looking.
Yeah,
at
they're already making jokes about how it's just going to be America guns and everything like that.
Yeah, no, I'm
But
looking.
but it's not that though. It's like grease
You're
on
taking-
crack.
You're taking shit that doesn't belong to you, America.
America.
Like America. Like they're gonna try to take our stuff. We're gonna fight back.
Yeah. We're taking your children. We're locking them up in a little area. We're
Hide
removing
your
them from your
kids, hide
field.
your
Yeah.
wife,
Hide your weapons. Hide yourself.
hide your items, hide your non-soul guard monsters. We're taking everything.
So,
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna close off with. I don't think they realize what they did.
I'm
when
gonna
they-
make that a meme now.
Yes.
Hide
I
your
think-
items.
but
hide
you make it
yourselves.
more.
Yeah.
I
Bring the
think
meme back.
Shiro didn't realize what they were doing when they let Howlbringer be in a gem clone deck, because that's just as bad as a Yankee.
Yeah. Yankee do the winter
Getting first turn Howlbringer, it is like the worst thing ever. I have people who can testify to that.
What is Howlbringer again? Sorry, we don't have much Hero World here on the East Coast.
No, that's a Darkest Dragon World one.
Okay.
It's Abigail. When you impact call it, you can put a black dragon on the bottom of your deck. You mill 9 from your opponent's from your opponent's deck, and then you take 3 of their gauge and you steal 3 of their life.
Oh
Engage.
yes, I know this. Yeah. Yes.
Honestly, too, if you have discard effects, that's a way to get around the DD Yankee, because they're all stuff is about discarding. So
Yeah.
Legend World, maybe.
No, I'm just saying, like, if they didn't learn from having Howlbringer, then what are they doing? Oh my god.
The D-share stuff seems pretty crazy.
Life gain, the one thing that Ancient World never could have enough of.
The one thing Ancient World needed more than anything, you mean? Besides
That's what I mean by that. They never had enough of it.
Oh, that's true.
But I mean, like, they have some pretty crazy effects. Like, that one I think scares me more than, like, de-evolve.
I don't
The
get
Evo stuff for Dragon World looks pretty fun.
Yeah, but, like, the thing with that, again, with that, is just rest the initial Gargantua and hope they don't have the one spell that allows you to call it on top regardless.
Yeah, I mean they've already showed us how to deal with that. You just
Crystallization phenomenon. Oh wait, that's just me.
it's just like get Rex scrub. I mean,
Well, guys,
But they made another version of it too, though, Matthew. They made another version of crystallization.
they did not. They eroded it.
They made another version just for Astro Dragon. They made like their own version of it.
What?
Of crystal. They made their own version of it. Like they literally have like their own card that's like, hey, rest this card and blah blah blah. What's here?
Oh my God, stop
Rest that
showing
card
me
on your
those.
opponent's field, and for this turn, that card cannot be standby card effects.
When
It
did
doesn't
this come out?
nullify the abilities, but it just
When was
tells
this
you.
revealed?
This was revealed this morning.
I was at work all day. Damn it!
This was like at 5:30 a.m., 6:30 your time.
I was at work.
They also have the card that's really good. It's like if you have an Astro Dragon on the monster in the field, you put the top 2. No, that's not it. It's like look at the top like 4 cards of your deck or add 2
Oh,
to
right.
your hand.
Counter rest a card in your opponent's field, and for this turn, it cannot stand by card effects. Yeah. No, cards nuts. So you can play 8 rest spells.
And one nullifies their abilities, and the other one just goes can't stand.
I mean, hey, I was playing Crystallization Phenomenon before it was cool.
I'm just gonna hope that playing Omni Lords during both players' turns is enough to survive the entire meta that's coming.
Which one? What did you say?
I'm just hoping playing like Omni Dark Hero is enough to survive the upcoming meta.
Stop it, Kevin. You're being bad.
No, I'm
Stop
not
it.
being bad. I'm being real.
Stop it. You're being bad.
I
Count
refuse
Dawn
to play
can't
any-
save you. Count
The mo-
Dawn can't save you.
You might as well have just said like variable chord couldn't save me, so I could actually respond with something.
No, Variable Core's always going to be bad. It's always gonna be
Forever
bad.
the worst Omnilord next
Yeah.
to Brangadez.
Oh yeah.
Shut your mouth. He's good at his
And
own
ladies
deck.
and gentlemen,
Not good
welcome
at
to
another one.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
John versus
Oh,
Kev. Taking
We're
all
gonna
bets.
do this. We're gonna do this. Yeah.
We'll do this
in
in
a
the
new episode. I want to know who keeps making up these fucking formations. It's like every time somebody plays open center, they're like, "Oh, here comes the Gal formation." I was like, "But everybody that plays items plays open center." And then with the last episode, they're like, "Oh, this is the Galaxy formation." I'm like, he literally equipped the fucking item, played a monster on the left and a monster on the center.
Well, actually, their card effects require them to have a center, a left, and a monster. A center, left, and an item. I'm curious to see if in the future we'll get a left, center, right monster if an effect happens with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like different formations with different spells or different effects.
Yeah, I bet you will. I think that will be the idea that will keep it different. Just because again, if you're constantly playing off the left, and like, or you get a right that says when you have all of it, like you get
all the stars are the impact. All the stars are aligned. Game.
Yeah.
Chaos
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That looks really fun, but I don't. I still want to play Jack though.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of the new stuff, I just play the Dragon World stuff because it reminds me of Digimon.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like
sometimes it's really hard for me to remember that Justin is an adult with children.
my daughter actually asked me that the other day because I have like a Gundam on my screensaver. She was like, "Why do you have a cartoon on there? Aren't you too old for that?" I was like, "Listen,
shut your mouth." Yeah. right now, go.
I was like, "You're never too old." Because that's one thing.
You should have told her BuddyFight. It would have been the greatest bonding moment ever.
No, I actually tried to teach her, but it's actually easier for me to teach her Vanguard than it is BuddyFight.
Of course
Vanguard
it is.
requires no skill.
Yeah, because I mean, Vanguard is just math.
Yeah, honestly.
If it hits or not.
If they ever asked me to come up with a game for math for extra credit for school, I just showed them Vanguard. Say, I made this. They're not checking shit.
Bushiro doesn't. Why can't you? I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the new Gold Jack is actually a prick. I hate that card for so many
I love
reasons.
that card. It replaced the gauge you guys took from me with your.
What did it replace?
The gauge you guys took from me with the Deity Yankee stuff.
No, you took my SP slot, you whore. I wanted that so bad. We're gonna give Dragon World.
Hold on. Your side character is not important enough for this main character status over here.
Stroke.
When was the last time the sticker was relevant?
They gave Gargantua 4 versions. They gave the Ancient World 4 versions. They gave the Cross 4 versions. Star Jackknife that lost in the show, didn't deserve to be in it whatsoever. SP.
SP. John's getting
you got
triggered.
A for effort, and you got a gold bar for effort. Like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry.
There's
He's
in
still a
the
prodigy, but he loses. Help.
I'm glad the Cross kicked his ass last week.
This whole stream is just John getting salt now.
You were the bitter one. You couldn't handle chaos.
I'm sorry. No one could handle chaos for a while. Nope. John left.
He must have got dropped. But
No, his salt.
That was a plot time leave. Only accidental.
That was some plot device shit.
Well-timed leave right there. So yeah. But yeah, I totally believe that your character was not deserving of an SP when he's appeared once.
Twice?
Yeah.
Twice, whatever. Like he's like not even like hopefully relevant going forward. Because that's all we need is more Jackknife support.
That's always what we need.
That's the only old card, like the old like you're saying legacy in the set. Like was Jackknife. Like it's one card.
And there's a problem with that? Gal's in America right now. I'm honestly no, I don't kid you not. I'm hoping Gal comes back and whoops his son's ass. I'm hoping like Yoda, like Yuga gets like too ego, and Gal's like, all right, I gotta put you in your place. Like that Dark Hero guy put me in mine. Come get this ass whooping.
There's a big ass bat coming out there.
Or even better, he's misbehaving and his mother just beats him over the head.
Kevin,
Like, do I
I'm
gotta
reading the
his
comments
mother
here,
whoops his
sir.
ass in Buddy Fight? Do I have to whip out my deck?
I'm reading the comments. You coward! You can't even say them on stream. You're reading these
Hey,
comments.
I don't want to stop the loving conversation you guys have yelling over each other over there about dragons and beating people, okay?
That's all this game is hero card dragon fight.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Oh, and chaos.
Hero card chaos dragon fight.
But Gal lost in the dream. Yes, he did lose to his own blood. So
actually
technically,
lost
he
the
beat
game.
himself.
No, his sperm beat him.
Wow,
I
yo,
can't
that plot
believe
armor
it.
did not save you from
Not the
this.
jumper
Look at
gamer
that.
days.
This is funny.
Oh, great. I'm glad we're all bitter tonight.
We're all being bitter together, though. That's the best
I'm
type
actually
of
okay.
bitter
I'm
party.
pretty okay right now.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know about
you.
guys.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
you're not
Kev, you're
triggered
not
as
getting
well.
offended because you're Canadian.
Yeah.
Your people don't know how to get offended. They just take shit. I'm sorry, I'm only kidding.
Somewhere. Justin
I'm
Trudeau.
still
just
laughing. It's fine. I'm still
Yeah.
laughing.
somewhere.
Okay.
Just,
All right, good. Oh, that was good.
all right. What next?
All right, that's actually it.
Yeah.
No, we got to talk about. There was one more thing. Ultra Pro sponsoring Bushiroad.
Right. Oh wow. We
Yeah.
forgot.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
we can't.
yes.
We cannot. And we have to talk about the post from the comments. We're almost done. We've only been on for a little bit more than an hour. So let's talk about Ultra Pro.
Before we do that, real quick, can we mention a few? I just want to mention to everybody a few erratas that recently came up. It was Pizza Party. It was the one that restood a Sun Dragon. They errata to have a counter. And they errata Crystallization Phenomenon because of the show. And this pisses me off because I had to play around that ruling forever. At any point during your turn, if it's destroyed, you can cast this. Not after the next playtime and like Geppa Kariki and Double Loss.
So you can counter the counter. Mm-hmm.
Botched.
Pretty much, because it says at
You
any
just
point.
botched the name.
It makes me so angry that I played that card before it did Bushiroad gave it attention. All right, continue.
That's it.
So
Well,
Ultra Pro,
Ultra Pro, our game is finally getting a little pickup.
they finally decided to give us back our invites for top 3. I don't know why they didn't do that in the first place.
Again, I think there are fearful people that actually show up for their card games.
Yeah, I know. It's not like we don't. It's not like we want to give away the product or anything, right?
No, well, you don't even. I mean, now we get mats and medals and things, and the gold. I think the coolest thing they've ever done was the gold flags. Like, I think that was like the coolest thing because it was something again. Like you knew when you won it, it was relevant. You could use it.
Yeah.
It was not a mat that would just fall. I mean, like how many times people are like, I'm trading my top 8 mat, like.
And people are dropping like Yu-Gi-Oh. People are dropping Yu-Gi-Oh because they play at like large scale events and they get like a mat and a deck box.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's really cool that now Ultra Pro is going, okay, we're going to sponsor first place winner at the regional for all the regionals, and then second and third still going to invite. And I think that's really cool because
from the start.
Yeah, I think we actually talked about that on stream eons ago. Where they should give out, in my mind, top eight invites.
Yeah, I've been complaining about that since I started playing this game because I got screwed over too much.
But I mean, the idea that now that at least first, second, and third relevantly matter even more than before, because again, yeah, you might have won a gold flag or whatever, but I mean, again, you weren't walking away. I mean, I guess spring has always been like that. I should clarify, because the fall is more where you wanted to win. So, but now it seems like it actually really matters, like even first and second, because I know if I got second or third, I would definitely attempt to make that trip to Japan for so many reasons, not just to partake in it.
Straight to Japan now, actually, because like
what's that?
If it's going straight to Japan now, it's more worthwhile for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's
like,
a vacation, it's tourism.
Like before for me, it was like, oh, you had to go to Cali first, and then you had to qualify for Japan. I was like, why couldn't we just go straight to Japan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it says that, and I haven't looked at the thing in a while, but I think it's an invite to Worlds. So in Japan.
No, because before it used to be Nats, which was in Cali, and then you had to win your invite after that point, and this was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
But yeah, I think to the degree that they're doing it, I think Bushiroad as well needs to step up themselves. Like, they really need to, if Ultra Pro is going to sponsor it, they really need to do a lot more as far as the judges making things run smoother. just the level that they're at is not Ultra Pro level in my mind. Like they need to really kick it up into that high gear.
That also means that Ultra Pro has to commit to it more than just.
And they honestly might. Like they might actually go, okay, we're gonna start doing more for them, taking some stress off of Bushiroad, because I also think Bushiroad needs to hand over their like event planning to somebody else. Like hire someone from the other big games and go, okay, here's how you host an actual event. Here's how you actually make people come to it. And like they used to do gunslingers, they used to do side events that were mattered. Like when I was in Houston, they didn't once announce a side event on day 2. It was only day 1 that they announced the side event. Like you made it seem so insignificant, and not that again like the promo is anything to like scoff at, but if I lost and I'm out, I'd like to try to at least do something with my time. I'm there. Let me be entertained. Yeah, like but they even like I don't think they did the gym battles for Vanguard. Like that used to be
clan leader. You mean
clan leader? Yeah, sorry, the clan leader.
We did gym battles,
but they didn't do that. Like I'm like, why is this not something you're doing at your events? Like this, someone needs to be marketing this better or handling this better per event or across the board. And they just seem like they keep going, and then it's just not even relevant. It doesn't even matter. Like it's just like people are so like, I just go, hope I win. If not, we leave.
Yeah, that's a lot of what Bushiroad events are. Right?
We're again, if it's free and it's supposed to be fun, you're supposed to get people engaged. Engage them. Like create side events. Like I said, gunslinger. Why can't they have Amigo be a gunslinger? How many people would love to play against him?
And I think that is because they have to pay for him to be there or whatever and like sponsor.
Oh, okay. Again, like, yes, I understand, but like that to me is worth it. Again, you want more people to show up to your events. You want more people to buy your card products. Again, they're not hurting. Their sets sell out. They're making their numbers. Like, do something to retain it even more so. And again, with Ultra Pro being there, I think they have to start doing a little bit more.
Yeah, basically,
or again, inviting the world champs from a year ago to come and play. Like that, all you have to, they're gonna want that. That's notoriety for them. That's fame.
Because we
like
get to see Austin enough times, okay?
Yeah.
Gotta be fair. He didn't win last year. The year before he could have been doing it. But like that's what I mean. Like
I'm kidding.
that person, his personality, it would be so good for the game. Like
you're
him
not
being
wrong.
there.
Like, definitely, you're not wrong. I was just joking around with that. But
No, I understand. But like that to me, again, is a plane ticket that is worth its investment for them. I would love the chance to sit down and have a gunslinger with someone like that. Or again, create. If you have the team league right now for the fall, take champion from that area, whoever won the team league of that region, and invite them to be gunslingers, or something like that. I don't know.
Basically,
that's actually a good idea, because then that will get people to want to go and play in team league, because a lot of people don't have faith in teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's they got to really start becoming creative with the way they are engaging their clientele, their people, and they're just not doing it. And that's the thing that hurts, because when people sit there and talk about, like, say, oh, well, I don't really get anything when I go to an event. Yeah, I get free swag and everyone gets it. But when you look at like Pokemon and Magic and they have a lot of things that they do individually at their events that seem unique for it. Like when I go to a Vanguard tournament, I don't feel like anything's super unique. Yeah, I get a deck box or a mat or a promo. The promos haven't meant anything in a long time. Like there's been very few of them. I'm like, oh my god, you need
shoveling them out.
That's because a lot of people complained when all of the promos were really good, because then people couldn't obtain them, and those that could get them were selling them for like $20 each.
I get that. I mean, but like there's going to be downfall and upside to every scenario. But right now, there's not a lot of upside going to a Bushiroad event unless you absolutely win it or come in first or second or fourth or third. You know what I mean? Like
buddy fight, make new friends.
Well, isn't it the concept of the game? I mean, that's the concept of the game, is to buddy fight and
make new friends.
And we rarely engage in that aspect.
Everybody hates each other. Yes.
He said.
but I agree with you guys 100% that
Wow,
the
this is like a
dynamic
wild
and the
football.
culture of how regionals are ran and how the environment feels when you walk in there needs to be changed. I remember it being a lot different back when I went to my first regional. And going back to what John was saying about Pokemon, Pokemon players may pay for to go to regional, but I remember my one friend, he got dice. He got like custom dice. He got
Okay, so
mat.
that's a very touchy thing. It depends on who's sponsoring the event when it comes to Pokemon and stuff, and what they want to input to it. Because I have been to a few Pokemon regionals where like it's hosted by our local stores, and we only got a playmat that said like the event, and then they gave us like generic clear die instead of like a nice custom one. So it is all in the hands of the TOs, but we didn't have any
more
side
than what
events.
Bushiroad does.
But we didn't have any of the side events or anything.
Well, they're trying. Bushiroad's at least trying to do better with their price support. Because I remember a few years ago, if you topped, all you got was a certificate.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, and then the invite into California usually. So
yeah. Well,
I mean,
now like this was a great team league. Was great. People got flags, medals,
Yeah.
pins, mats.
and as far as the flags go, again, their value in my mind only will go up from this point on because there's only
Let's
so
talk
many.
about the fact that we don't own any of them, okay?
He does. Matthew does.
No, stop it. I want one.
Austin Summers has yours.
Yeah, I know.
I was. Oh, was it? Oh, Summers has 2. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But all I'm saying is
more than me.
they could do more per their event. With Ultra Pro being here, hopefully someone from Ultra Pro steps in and goes, listen, if we're going to sponsor this, we're going to treat this like an actual event.
I feel the same.
Like,
they have
they
to
need
not
to
dick around.
bring it up a level of seriousness here. And again, you
Bring
still
more
can have,
professionalism to the way the event's ran.
yes,
Like
like
be a professional amount of staff in professional attire doing professional judging on a professional level and not treated like I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Yeah, no, they have to have people that actually care.
I think that's the only thing we can hope for is like Ultra Pro doing it. I mean, like right now, what I've seen, like they listed the shop qualifiers and they got the promos, and those things seem to be the same. But like again, those are not. Bushiroad's actually not producing those events; they're just supplying the things, so it's okay. I want to actually see the locations, the dates, the times, those things, because it really matters to me. Because if you want people to continue playing your game and be involved
on like 9/11 and the 4th of July.
Thank you.
Come on.
Oh my God! Like those dates, like they just did it. What was the most recent one? It was
Oh yeah.
Father's Day was this Sunday.
Didn't affect me.
Well, no, but I'm.
I don't
I just got that.
Oh God! All right,
this is a kid show,
right.
folks. Yeah. So,
Yeah, but they really do need to stop scheduling major tournaments during American holidays because it's like people just aren't going to show up.
Well, they don't always do it because I remember that the Chicago regional that I saw you guys at was a Halloween. It was Halloween weekend that weekend.
The weekend I topped was Easter weekend. 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It was like it was like 60 players, and like they could have had more, but they decided to do it on Easter. Like, are you guys high? Like, why would you mess with that kind of holiday? Like, that's not like
ours was Memorial Day, which pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, you guys, that's your one time to spend with your family outside, things like that. You naturally get the day off, and then they.
I had to turn 3 people down and tell them, "Sorry, I can't come, but I'll be sure to win for you." And
wow.
Savage.
Well, it gave me a really good excuse for not coming to certain family events. I'm like, sorry I couldn't come. My team was busy being awesome.
I was busy winning a trip. Sorry you died.
No, I told them like, I'm sorry I can't come to your grad party. I'm playing in a regional.
Yeah.
Now I can't lose.
Well, I think in the long run, again, the planning, things like that, even Ultra Pro has that experience, so hopefully that helps them. I really feel like Ultra Pro needs like a representative to go and sit down with Bushiroad going, no, don't do that. Do that. Yeah, that's better. Don't do that. That's good. You know, like they really just need someone to hold their hand as far as the events, because it's always been like that to a degree. If anyone remembers a few years ago when they held the championships in Chicago, they picked like the same hotel. Like it was so expensive. Like parking was an issue. Like people couldn't accessibly get there. Like there was a lot. And then that was just because I think it was Jonathan Lee. He like left the company and they're like, oh my God, we have no idea what to do. And they're like, let's just book the same venue we did before. And that's what happened. Like there was no like again experience in the event department. So hopefully that hopefully picks up and turns out to be a little bit better going forward.
Hint, hint. Someone from Busher would watch our live stream and take notes.
Yeah. Oh, keep White Plains though. White
yes,
Plains.
please. Oh God, please keep White Plains. Albany isn't bad. Albany wasn't horrible, but God, please keep White Plains.
Yeah, like Albany is just far for some people.
I mean, I just liked it because when they helped out the vending team, like they had mad staff there, and I was like, this is beautiful. This room is beautiful. That Albany was in. Newark, never again.
I like New York, because I can fly into that and the event's right there.
No,
that's a nice event.
We New Yorkers don't like crossing the pond.
Oh boy.
I like what they did with Toronto. They changed up our venue. We used to be like beside a freaking airport, which is like the middle of nowhere.
It was the middle of bumblefuck somewhat.
Like relative to where everybody was, it was like the middle of nowhere, and there was like no food around. And they changed the venue to be in like the actual core of Toronto, which is like right beside our like main hub for like transit, and it was glorious. A lot of people enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think with the way they've been doing it, hopefully they keep the same venues as they did in the spring. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. In my opinion, like if you're gonna book it, book the same venue right there then. Like
we need a regional in DC.
Yes,
like DC would be like the shit. And it's like anybody from out of town that I'm cool with, you could just stay with me. Could live stay in my basement. Yeah.
I'm in.
Live in my attic, live in my basement.
But like they I think they tried those up. I remember when they did Tennessee a few years ago, it was like hardly anyone showed up again. Like it was just a random spot. Like I think they do need to develop a few odd and end regional places, like or like split California up maybe, or like have a few more, because like as far as I'm concerned, they don't host enough regionals that make it so people can always attend them either. Like again, like you have only one on the West Coast. It's at one time. If you can't attend it, it's you miss that opportunity.
And then you're driving 12 hours to Ohio or Chicago.
Yeah, and then a lot of people like say you're going to go to Ohio, you can go to Georgia. That seems a little bit more in that ballpark where you have a little bit more. But again, doing 2 California regionals might not be that bad to counteract it a little bit.
Can we do like 2 singles and then 1 team league every year instead of just having 1 and 1?
That'd be great.
Here's my opinion. They should go back to doing a shop qualifier regional where everyone goes and participates at their shops, advances onto their regional in one area, and then they go and that's it. They don't have to host the big event. They can just have everyone do the work for them and then host one pseudo big event. Like
it was in the Vanguard anime?
Yeah, you're doing shops. They go in, like the original Team League, if anyone recalls, it was never at a convention center. It was the individual shop center. Then one big shop in the area hosted everyone. That the top 2 or 3 went on to it was the Queen Mary, and they participated there, and that was it. It was like the national, but they did nothing for it until the actual day of events, like the actual championship. Everything was done through the local areas. So like in my mind, that's a better regional because again, your locals are handling it. Then you move on to a bigger location, and then those qualifiers move on to an actual tournament hosted by Bushiroad themselves. And they can do that. There's no money involved until the actual event. Like they're going to promote it and things like that, but they're not hosting 8 big regionals. They're hosting one big one.
What do you guys think about doing a Kansas City regionals?
No. No.
Where's Kansas City?
Stop it. Yeah.
No, that wasn't a joke. That was an actual question. Where the hell is that? Like, I'm sorry. Where are we talking right? Where are we going to buy a plane ticket to?
Savage.
I'm not kidding. I'm bad at geography. I didn't major in geography.
Kansas City.
Oh man,
your shoes.
But why? You guys just go to Texas.
I go to Texas for regional. I want to go to Texas for regional, but
Texas was a lot of fun.
Not in the summertime.
It was 106 degrees or something when I was there. I was like, I'm dying. Like I will not leave the hotel till dark. When I left the hotel at night, it was like 86 degrees still outside. It was the hottest, muggiest thing ever. I'm like, I'm going to die here. They're going to find me dried up like a prune on the plane. And like the best part about it was the air conditioning in the room was like blasting at like 60 miles per hour. That was like saying Texas, you got one thing right.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning, yeah.
All right.
I think that's it from my end as far as things to talk about. Ultra Pro was the biggest one.
I was going to say, I think this is still CJ from Team Plays for Days. He has a valid point. With doing the regionals at shops is hard because a lot of shops don't even carry BuddyFight in the first place.
Yeah, a lot of stores drop the game or they don't want to do.
Like I know in like my immediate area, it's like they're like Delaware doesn't have it. I'm the only shop in Maryland that runs it, and then Virginia doesn't run it. So it's like the only place that you can find it within like our like 3 states is like at my shop.
Albany.
Like a lot of people don't travel that far.
When we went to Albany, we checked. Me and my shop owner checked a couple shops to see what they had. They only had BuddyFight, if that, from set 1, like OG set 1. And I was like, I'm tempted to buy it. How much?
And they probably want like $70 for it. Like, it's really not good. So
yeah,
I will concede that fact that not all shops carry it, but here's the incentive. Like, I think if you were to start doing more events like that, where the shop gets people in their doors, they will start carrying the product. Like, you're going to gain a clientele that ultimately doesn't show up. So how do you make them show up? Give away a pass to a championship in their area. Then they show up. Oh, I got to carry the product. People are going to sell the product. And that's how I do it. If you make the events happen, you make people show up.
John Max Rarity, marketing.
Thing. Like we actually, like we shop hopped everywhere around here for the buy cards.
But that's just it. Like, you're willing to travel for them. So why not? Why not again? Like, I don't know. If you're entering into an event, the shops can determine how much it is to charge for the event. If you're going to have a regional at your store, it saves $20. You get 2 packs and you got the entry. I don't know what the equivalency would be, but get packs upon entry. Oh my God! Stop it, you cheap wallet, crying bitches! I'm just saying. This is what
Canada over here.
Yeah, oh Canada.
No,
I'm just saying.
You can't afford 2 whole American dollars.
But I will say this. Now the argument will be made on the other side of the aisle is you wouldn't pay $20 to get into Origins to basically get a free top 8. Why would you pay $20 to get into your locals? Like, I get it. The only thing is you're not traveling to Origins. You're traveling to your locals to do it. Like, I mean, if you want to be competitive, you want to be known at the game, you have to play. And in order to play, you have to travel because not everyone has their locals an advantage to it. So,
dude, I'm glad you said that because I see a lot of players like they have issues playing. Like when we have tournaments, they have issues paying like $5 for tournament. And I'm like, dude. I'm like, before I hit this shop, I was dropping like $20 to $30 a week on tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, I was topping almost every event, but
here's my issue, and I know my face is going to be like splattered in some Discord group later or something like that. If you're going to make the investment of $150 to $250, why would you not want to keep making money on your investment? I'm sorry. Go to your locals, play as much as you can. Win as much as you can. If they don't have it, get your store to do store credit for other games. At least you're going to make your money somewhere. Like, you have to talk to your shop owners. You have to top and find a way to make it profitable for all parties. Hey,
spoken like a true Yu-Gi-Oh player.
I mean,
but I'm not even a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Like, I came from essentially Bushiroad. Like, my background is Vanguard. Like, in my mentality is they didn't have Vanguard when it first came out anywhere. I made my locals happen. It developed. It went to 3 or 4 different stores, went to 5 or 6 different stores, and it kept going. And now the game is its own juggernaut. I don't think anything they do to Vanguard is going to slow it down. I think
I did the same thing. And I'm just saying, you know, spoken like a true Yu-Gi-Oh player, because that's the mentality a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players had with their high value, high rarity decks. That's all I was trying to say. Please don't kill me.
Sure. Oh, I thought you meant it like the negative making money.
No, I don't mean it in a negative way. And like, you're right. That's the mentality a lot of people in card games should have, and it's a smart way of doing things. But at the same time, it's not always going to be about, you know, just making your money.
And I get it too. Like, lives, things happen, people's work, they can't attend locals. I personally, I haven't been to my locals in like months.
John,
but I work a full-time job.
There's going to be a point where you're trying to make back your investment constantly, but if you're so good at it and other people aren't good at it, then you just dominate and everybody gets turned away from it.
That's true too. Yep. I mean, not going to say there are the chaos players that
Like this, like we've had people report.
I'm sorry, what?
Of like metas, of locations dying because everybody kept going full meta, right?
And that's fine. Implement your own local rules then to a degree. Like make it like we had one time at our store, like for 3 weeks in a row, we did 2 buddy fight tournaments a day. One, you couldn't play the same deck that you played earlier. So like you could play your meta deck one tournament, and then the next tournament you had to play a different deck, and it was fun because like everyone would play their meta like one round, and then they would play their more casual, and it was a lot of fun because again you're not playing the same things, and like it to me, like again you got to find a way to make it interesting for people. So
yeah, I mean you have to do that in all card games because we actually did that a few weeks ago. Like I told you guys in the chat, like we said, no meta decks, and almost everybody ended up playing Hero World that day.
Oh, is that the one you were talking about?
I recommended we do in my shop that we do a hero versus villain type of day where we've got a bunch of like Hero World decks, or we had a bunch of like villains versus heroes. Everyone was kind of just like, I don't want. I'm like, you know what, you guys are no fun.
Yeah,
that's New Yorkers for you.
oh, I'm sorry.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Shots fired. So, it's okay. No, he's right. That's why he has to come to my regional.
Okay. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down.
That's all good.
But in the long run, I think again, like if you go back to the shops doing their individual tournaments to go to another one, I think it can be profitable for all parties involved. I think it actually is better for Bushiroad as a game to do that because they're encouraging local stores to start buying their product from the vendors and increasing their amount of product selling. When they do it the way they're doing it now, it's online sales. You don't see everyone's like, oh, my shop doesn't carry singles, I have to buy them online, or I have to trade in the group, which is fine. We want you to be a part of the group, but it's sad that you can't go to your locals and at least trade with your friends or other players because you don't have a locals. If Bushiroad were to do things,
some shops won't even allow you to play other card games other than the card games that they sell in the shop.
Yeah, that's a thing in some
players like that where it's like they kicked out of their shop for playing Buddy Fight in the shop.
Now, to be fair though, I don't think Bushiroad will be running up to those shops and going, please sponsor a local tournament here, like for us. Like I think in their mind, that's obviously not a safe zone for Bushiroad games or something like that. So I think what they need to do though is find the shops like Underground. Underground is the biggest Bushiroad selling store that I know. Like that's like all they do. It's like they are the pro waving the banner of flag for them. Like they need to find that.
Waving the flag.
Raising the flag.
Raise it. But I think that's what they need to do is to start finding those stores and working with them to host those regionals and events, get the people to go to them, get them to understand that there is some form of draw for them participating in an event like that. It's better for them to do groundwork, canvassing, than it is to host one big event, have 133 teams or 33 people show up for the event, and again, only 8 of them really get something out of it. Like they could do more again from a grassroots movement aspect.
Yeah. Like if they could start doing like top 16, that would help too.
But you're gonna have so many people for that. Like, and I get what you're saying. Like,
you can easily do a PIM for top 16.
Sure.
And then still keep doing mats for top 8.
Actually, a few years ago that they gave out the free fight promos to everybody in the top 16.
I was gonna say in Vanguard a few years ago they gave top 16 all the promos. It was their way of doing it.
They give out the promos. It's kind of like a mandatory thing because they're like, hey, you missed the free fight, so you at least.
But I've done it where I've
no, they didn't do that this year. They only gave it the top 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say when we played in New York, they only gave top 8 those.
And I remember I asked, I'm like, did top 16 get these? And they said no. I'm like, weird.
And they didn't even give us a police promos. They gave all of us one. So it's like, yeah, good luck getting the rest, boys.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know. There are ways to do it better without them having to be Bushiroad in charge. Like, I think there are ways. They just have to relinquish some control.
I don't think Bushiroad's willing to do that, but yep, that's a thing.
But they did do it. They have done it. Like it's like they got to go back to it.
They do the thing where they'll like give you control, but then they're like, this is the layout, and then you.
But look at the shop qualifiers right now. All they do is send a certificate, a few promos, and maybe a buy card. That's it. They have no say in the individual event itself. Like they're just supplying, like ARG would have done, where they supply a kit.
They do tell you what you're supposed to do. Like they sim rules that you're supposed to follow.
But I mean, Konami is huge into that. Magic's huge in what you can do at their tournaments. I mean, like they're very hands-on for a company that's not even remotely involved with your locals.
Because I mean, the thing is like
we had a local get shut down from Konami because they weren't supposed to host ARG using their products.
Yeah.
Because I actually had like one tournament for Vanguard that we ran. Bushi said it was supposed to be best of 1, but I made the tournament best of 3 just to be fair to the players. So one of the players actually complained to Bushi about me saying that they would have done better in the tournament if it was best of 1 like it was supposed to be, because they won their first rounds of like everybody that they played.
Yeah, and then Sideboard became a thing, and then
no. This was for Vanguard.
Oh, for Vanguard. Oh, yeah, but you know, that's again
because Vanguard's supposed to be this best of 1.
If Vanguard had a sideboard.
Yeah, I think in the long run, where that's concerned, that's again the individual shop should control that as well. Bushi Road's not there; they're not supplying any staff. Like you can run the event the way you deem fit. So
okay, so
ARG BuddyFight would be cool, but they're not going to do it unless people buy a product from them. That's been discussed many times, years past, and no one bought product from them. But again, when they tried hosting the game, there wasn't enough product to go around for people to be interested in buying it. So that's why they don't do ARG BuddyFight, and it's not deemed marketable enough for them. Again, because people don't show up to the events if they were to host them. So they had that issue with Vanguard. So
I had the same issue like with this BuddyFight tournament, like shop championship. Hardly anybody wanted to show up. This is my first time actually having like a major tournament, and only 7 people showed up. It was like. And it's like most of the people I talk to, they're just like, oh, I'm just not interested in the game, or I just don't want to play. I haven't been practicing. And it was just like a bunch of excuses. Hey, Kevin, shut up. Well, not you, Kevin.
I was like, wait, whoa.
Shit.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, because Kevin, you were one of those cowards that was scared to play.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta do something.
He's not calling out Kevin in the stream, Kevin. Everyone
not Kevin.
You know, they were like, this is already getting hostile. This is us just being loving friends. This is
true.
Yes. I've gotten to meet everyone in here but Kevin now, so I have to go to Canada. Kevin, when I get there, can you give me maple syrup?
I'll buy you maple syrup.
Yes. And I want Justin Trudeau photos. Yes.
I can't do that.
All right. I think we're wrapping it up anyway.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please tune in next time. I would say I'm going to try to start doing these more often, but as busy as I am, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. That was a good recap. That's hard. That's a good recap from the season.
Yeah, we could probably start doing.
I do want to ask everybody if you guys are going to be in the group or anything, give us some feedback, because we actually did go over our usual hour limit on our stream. If you enjoy us just going on for as long as possible or longer, let us know. If you like an hour, we can try and keep it back to an hour, but do give us your feedback, please.
Yeah, we've kept good watches. So
well, all
right, guys.
All right.
Thank you. Watch out for that Yankee support.